because of the lockdown, you've forgotten let me do a recap on panel skirt. So for the back, what do I do for my panel skirt? I already have a dart for the back. I just extend the midpoint of my dart all the way down, and I've paneled my back. You can see me doing that. So this is it. So this helps me to have my CB1 and CB2. You can see I have 2 pieces for my back. How do I panel my front? There are 2 ways. Did I use my waist measurement or I use my hip measurement? Because the front is usually divided into 3. It can be more than 3 pieces, it can be 4 pieces. But for the sake of this class, we're just doing 3 pieces. So I either use my waist measurement divided by 3, or I use my hip measurement divided by 3. So I divide it by 3, and then I rule a straight line from my waist all the way down. All the way down.
Mr. You have to start again. The video has been frozen for like 2 minutes. We didn't know what you were doing.
Okay, no problem. I will. Okay, so I will pause. So I said today we are taking Gore skirt. And the first step says, I'm using the textbook. The textbook has the slides. And the first step says, draft out the basic skirt pattern, which I did if you joined me at the beginning of this class. The second step says, panel the skirt pattern and extend to your desired length. And I explained that the reason why we are doing a long length is because Gore skirt is usually long. I cannot afford to have a midi length Gore skirt or a mini length Gore skirt. It's not like you cannot have that, but the beauty of your Gore skirt is usually when it is long. So the second step says we should panel our skirt, which is what I was doing. So for the CB, to panel the CB, we already have a dart at the midpoint of our skirt. So I said just from the midpoint of your dart, rule the line all the way down, and then you've succeeded in paneling your back. For the front, how do I panel the front? I have my waist measurement and I have my hip measurement. The whole essence is to divide your CF. Don't forget we have a full CF because our CF is on fold. Our CF line is on fold. The whole essence of paneling is because we want to divide it into three patterns, 3 panels, so to speak. So I said divide either your hip or your waist measurement by 3. So whatever you have, now measure it. Now I decided to use my hip, and this is it. And I have it all the way down. You can see that. So I have paneled my CF and my CB. So I can decide to call this my CF1 and decide to call this my CF2. You can see that. So the next one, I've succeeded in paneling my skirt. So this is a panel skirt, a panel long skirt, so to speak. The next one is to measure out the Gore points. So another thing I can say is the required measurement for you to measuring your Gore skirt is your Gore point. Okay, so I'll be using Debbie so you understand. I would have loved to use a human body, but let me use Debbie so you understand how to take this measurement correctly. Okay, so I'll be using Debbie to take this Gore measurement. So I will raise our ball dress up. Okay, so this is our measurement. This is the mannequin, using the mannequin. Thank you. Okay, so this is it. I want you to pay attention to this. So for you to get your gore point, how do you get your gore point? After you've drafted out your skirt pattern, please make sure when you are taking your skirt length, you are taking the measurement of your body, you also take your knee measurement. That is essential for you to get your gore point. So once you've taken your knee measurement, your gore point is usually 3 inches or 4 inches above your knee measurement. So for example, this is Debbie's knee measurement. So if I was taking a skirt measurement, I should have taken a measurement of her knee. So once I have it, I'm going to do that on the board. I just want you to understand how to take the measurement on the body. So this is the knee measurement. So it's always 3 inches to 4 inches above the knee measurement for adults. While for miniature, that will be 1.5 and 2 inches respectively. Hope you understand now. So I'm going to be using the knee measurement to help me to get my gore point. That's the easiest way of you getting your gore point. Please, if you understand me or you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask me questions so far before I proceed. Let me return Debbie back to her position. Do you have any questions so far? Can I proceed? Okay. Since I've not gotten any questions from anyone, I would assume you're all getting it right and then I would proceed. Okay, so the next thing is to get my knee point, which is what I just showed you for Debbie. So this is my knee level. How did I get this knee level? I took the measurement on the body. I took the measurement on the body. I took the measurement on the body. So this is my knee level. So how do I get my gore points? Don't forget, 3 inches or 4 inches above the knee level. So I take my measuring tape and then I measure 3 inches or 4 inches. 3 inches or 4 inches. And then I square across.
Mr. Ademola, good morning.
Good morning, Madam Rachel.
Longest time.
Good morning, I was asking questions and nobody answered me. Now you're greeting Mr. Demola and you're doing longest time. Okay, so can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, because you are greeting Mr. Debola, you did not answer me and you did not even greet me either. That's what I was asking.
Your face keeps popping up and rushing out. I don't know why. Maybe you don't like us to see your face this morning.
No, I really apologize for that. It's the network. So because it's raining everywhere in Lagos, we have a fluctuation in network this morning. Okay. Sorry about that. So I'll be moving back to the class. I hope you followed me up to this point. If not, don't worry, you'll get a recorded version of this class. So don't forget, I said this is my CF2 and this is my CF1.
CF1, yes.
Thank you for following. So this is my gore point. How did I get my gore point? 3 inches or 4 inches above the knee level. The next thing I want to get, let's follow our steps in the textbook. It says I should measure out the gore point from the top of the paper and square out, which I have done. Step 4 says compare the measurement of the working level with the pattern and divide the excess on all points at the gore line. So now that you've gotten your gore points, how do I get my working level measurement? So take your tape. I would have used Debbie, but if I tell Debbie to put a leg forward, she might not hear me. So I take my tape round by. Please, I hope you can see me. Okay, so I take the tape round the gore point. Don't forget the gore point is 3 inches or 4 inches above the knee. So this is like 3 inches or 4 inches above my own knee. So take the tape round that gore point and tell your client to put a leg forward. A leg forward as long as you can move a little bit freely. But please note that yes, this working level should not be so free. The whole beauty of this skirt is when it is more penciled and then the flesh starts from there. So for me, this is okay. So I know I can move with this. So whatever you get, you would.
Again, your feet. Okay. This video keeps going on and on.
I'm sorry about that. It's the network.
So what do we do about this?
Can you see me now?
We can't see.
Can you see me now?
I can't. Me too, I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, so just keep listening to me. For those who can see me, I'm happy that your network is working, but don't panic. We'll send you the recorded version of this class after, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. So I'll be going back to the class. So I said take round the Gore, the working level. Okay, so take around the working level. So this is my working level. I make sure I can walk comfortably, though not so freely, because that's where the beauty of the skirt comes. And whatever I have, I compare it with what I have here. So I'll take the measurement of my Gore point and find the excess between the two. So please, when you're taking the measurement, don't forget you're not supposed to take your sewing allowance with it or your zip allowance. So here I have 18. And when I took round mine, so I have an excess of 4 inches. 4 inches. So this pattern is bigger than my body by 4 inches. So it means I have 4 inches to bring out from the side, the center back, and the panels. I hope you're with me. From the side, the center back, and the panels. Please don't bring out anything from your center front because it's on fold. So I have 4 inches. I use my discretion to share this excess on my Gore skirt. But I would like to say, for the beauty of the skirt, let more preference be on your center back. Let your center back be more shaped than the side or the panels. Now for your panels, another thing I like to say is make sure that there's more of, after you've taken more on the center back, take the rest on the side. And just make sure you're leaving little on your panel lines. We don't want the panel to be too deep inside. So I have 4 inches. Watch how I distribute my 4 inches. So I can come here and do 1.5. I come here and I do 1. That's 1, 2, 3, 3.5. So I have 0.5 left. So I come here and I do 0.25. Okay, no, I've missed out something. Okay, so I can do 0.75 here, 0.75 here, and now 0.25 left. So the whole essence is for you to have just little left on your panels. So yes, I can go ahead and do my 0.25 on my panel. And I've got to my working level. Don't forget I said you have 4 inches excess, which is what I've divided here. I divided more at my center back because I want it to be deep in and to give me that shape. And I divided 0.25 to my 2 panels and these panels here. Don't forget I said you must just have little there. Then the next thing is to draw shape in my skirt. So from my hip line, I hope you can see this clearly. From my hip line, I draw the line all the way, and then I draw it like that. I do the same thing. So I'm connecting my hip line to my working level. So I hope you can see. This part I'm taking it like this, like a triangle. That is the way I am drawing it. So I connect from my hip all the way. I start from my hip all the way, and I do the same thing on my center back. You can see I have that. So another way to also get this is to also use your pencil skirt. You know, once you do your pencil skirt, you have all these other points. But the thing about pencil skirt is always at the knee level. So if you want to get this, you must also get your gore points and then do the penciling in on your walking level. But make sure it's not too penciled and you can walk, at least you can move your legs. So whatever I do on my center back, please don't forget you also have to do it on the zip allowance part. So whatever I brought in here, I make sure I bring it also in here. And then I roll. You can see. So once I have all this, the next thing is to roll it all the way straight down. All the way straight down. So I roll all the way down. Let me get my ruler to do that. So I roll all the way down. I roll all the way down. You can see that. I do the same thing for the side. I roll all the way down. I do the same thing for this side. And then I do for my panel lines. Panel line. And then I have okay. Yes, I can hear you.
That don't take us too far back. Okay, I last got the fact that you had 4 inches
Excess
at the working level.
Yes.
And then you have to take that out of the panels. Could you please just run through it again? How did you divide 4 inches across the panel, the center back, and the back part of the center front shoulder, so to speak?
Okay.
You get my question?
Okay, I've heard you. I'll do that again. Let me just draw this panel line. Okay, so I said I've divided everything. So I have an excess of 4 inch. I came to the side and I did 0.75, 0.75. After I've done 0.75, that gives me 1.5. I'm left with 2.5. I'm left with 2.5. So after I'm left with 2.5, I take 0.25 here, 0.25, that's 0.5. I'm left with 2. I come here, I take 0.25, 0.25. I'm left with 1.5. Right? I'm left with 1.5, and then I took it up at the side. So you can see that I took it up at the center back. That's 1.5. So everything complete 4. And then I pull it straight down all the way. And this is it. So by the end of it all, I have my CF1, I have my CF2, my CB1 and my CB2. And then I have this as my CF1, this as my CF2, this as my CB2, and this as my CB1. So at the end of it all, from this point, I find out whatever I want to extend. So if I want to extend by 5 inches for my flare, 10 inches for my flare, 7 inches for my flare, depending on how flare you want it to be. But the minimum you can use is 5 inches. Please note the minimum you can use is 5 inches. You can use up to 10 inches, it's your choice. So from the M line of CF1, extend. So by the time I'm done, I'm going to be having something like this for CF1. For example, this will be my CF1. So this is the M line of my CF1. So measure out 5 inches or 7 inches. And from there, this is my Gore point part. From there, I roll a straight line. And you can see. So the whole essence of Gore point is for each piece to have.
Mr. Governor, you're the only one I'm seeing here. I don't know what I came to say. Are you Gore skirts? Are you walking level? I don't want to see you again on my screen.
So the whole essence for everything is for everything, each point to have its own flair. So my CF1 has its flair to this point. My CF1, from this point, I extend to my desired flare and then bring it back to my Gore point. For my CF2, I will do it on the side. So from the M line, extend whatever flare you want. For example, 5 inches. Then roll a straight line with your ruler. Make sure you're rolling with your ruler back to your Gore point. You do it on the other side of your CF2. So I do it on the side and the panel line of my CF2. I also from here extend 5 inches, for example, and then I roll it back to my Gore point. For my CB2, I do it on the side, roll back to Gore point. On the panel line, roll back to Gore point. For my CB1, I do it for my center back, find it, roll my flare back to Gore point, and then on my panel line, get my flare back to Gore point. So you notice that my CB1 and CB2 has 2 legs of flare. CB1 has its leg of flare center back and the panel line. CB2 has its leg of flare in the panel line and the side. CF2 has its own on the side and the panel line. While CF1 has its own flare only on the panel line because the center front is a fold. And that is the end of your Gore skirt. So you cut out each one, place it on paper, and then you extend your flare, and then you add your allowance. The sewing video will be sent to you, and all the explanation on how to cut it is there. But let me just show you how to cut it. So for CF1, this is what you'll be cutting out. And that's it for CF1. For CF2, you cut out on that panel line all the way, and then on the side. For CB2, you cut. Please don't forget to add your allowance. Don't forget to add your allowance. Then you can see for my CB2, I'm picking on this side of the dart, on this side of the dart, and then it goes all the way down. While for CB1, you pick all the way and then to this side of the dart. So I've indirectly cut out my dart. Don't forget your bump effect. Pick it and then pick this. So the same thing. So after you've done that, you can now add your zip allowance, which is this, including the bump effect. And that is it. If you have any difficulty, do let me know on the group chat. I'll be there to assist you. Thank you very much.